Genesis 1:1. It's not correct. It's mistranslated.
Okay, let's take a look.
It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But in the Hebrew language, which incidentally is a Phoenician language, there is no such a thing in this world as a Hebrew language. They are Hebrew, but the language is a Phoenician Canaanite language.
So this is completely false. Hebrew is a language, as is Phoenician. Both are part of a linguistic family called Northwest Semitic. These include Hebrew, Phoenician, Aramaic, Ammonite, Moabite, Edomite, and Ugaritic. Arabic is closely related, although it is typically labeled a South Semitic language. East Semitic would include extinct languages spoken in ancient Mesopotamia, like Akkadian, Babylonian, and Assyrian. But Hebrew is one of this family of languages.
The point I'm making here is that the word God in Hebrew is El, E-L.
Wait a minute, I thought you said Hebrew didn't exist as a language.
But that's not the word that's used in Genesis 1:1. If you go back and look at the Hebrew interpretation,
you keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
It says, in the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. Not El, Elohim.
There are several words translated as God in Hebrew: El, Eloah, and Elohim. These words can be translated differently based on the context, but they all also legitimately refer to the singular God of Israel.
Putting Elohim means El is God, but Elohim means it's a plural. So the correct interpretation should be, in the beginning, the gods created the heavens and the earth. That's what the word means.
So this is what our speaker's really been driving at here. The word Elohim can be translated differently depending on the context. It can be translated as gods, plural, referring to multiple deities. It can also be translated as spirits when it doesn't refer specifically to a divine being. But when it's used of God in the Hebrew Bible, it should be translated as a singular name, and here's how you know. Hebrew is an inflected language, which means that the form of verbs and nouns indicate number and gender. The word create in Genesis 1 is a singular verb, which means it demands a singular subject. The im ending on Elohim is a plural ending in Hebrew, but we have to understand that the plural often functions differently than in English. In Hebrew, the plural ending can be used to communicate majesty, intensity, or greatness. This is a feature of the language that doesn't have any real parallel in English. The closest thing we have is something called the plurality of majesty. For example, when a monarch uses the royal we, when they really refer to their singular person. In this case, an individual refers to himself or herself with a plural pronoun to communicate their own importance. And that's similar to what's going on here. In fact, there are other places in the Bible where regular nouns that are singular are given a plural ending in order to intensify them. When it comes to the name of God, what we do know is that the name Elohim, when referring to God, is always paired with singular verbs and adjectives. And anyone who understands basic grammar of any language knows that subjects have to agree with their verbs and modifiers must agree with the words they describe. It is unmistakably clear from the grammar that Elohim functions as a singular subject in this verse, meaning that God, singular, created the heavens and the earth. This is the correct rendering of this passage. Translating it as gods would be a mistranslation, and unfortunately, this isn't an uncommon mistake among critics of the Bible.